And we're back with some more oxygen not included on this frozen asteroid. I think it's called Ceres. Or Ceres? Whatever. We've got a couple of these Bammy eggs, but more importantly, it was pointed out to me that this is actually open. I thought this was still sealed, but no, I removed that tile, and that's why all this carbon dioxide is here. I'm going to try and seal this off, because that seems like a good idea, and it's also probably why this whole half of the base is covered in carbon dioxide. We're also going to try and stick in a gas pump. The reason I want the gas pump there is, well, hopefully long term we can start pumping out this carbon dioxide and using it. You just about finished there, buddy? Yeah, get out of the way. I'm trying to move all of those resources out of the way so we don't waste anything. And you can wait, and you can go to a priority level 6. I'm not using insulated tiles because I want to be able to pump all that gas out. We don't have any power over there yet, but we'll get around to it. And I somehow have to dispose of all this carbon dioxide. No problems at all. First thing I want to get started on today is more ethanol. We need a little bit more ethanol to keep our power going and to keep these plants fed so that we can keep bringing in the reed fiber, which is bringing us the warm coats. Those warm coats, we're going to assign out the current one to Ramble. That means everyone but Frederick Hartman has one. And Frederick, yeah, you don't have any frost resistance, do you? No frost resistance at all. You'll be the only one left still using those wood heaters, I believe. That's assuming the frost coats. As far as I can tell, the warm coats stop them from ever getting chilly again. And let's find out. Or maybe not. Literate Bast here is looking like they're cold. Without actually... And they're still wearing a warm coat. Nope, never mind. They've stopped being cold? I'll keep an eye on it. But for now... This over here is where we're going to pump all of this ethanol from that section. We've also got a bunch more ethanol that's around the place. Like there's a giant pool over there I'd like to tap into. For now, we're just going to dump it in here to make sure that our plants stay, well, watered or ethanoled, and our generator stays going. And I've got a use for this polluted water quite shortly as well. You guys, fill that in, and we're going to want to run power down here as well. Done. We'll now have all of that ethanol pumped up there. That should keep us going for a little while longer. Now, next up, I want to basically automate this whole section down here. I want to automate the dropping off of fertilizer, as in ice. These things take ice. And then I want to seal it off so that we can pump it full of carbon dioxide as well. So lots of carbon dioxide and automated ice delivery. And we want to automate the removal of all of the oxalate that's going on in here. This is all of our oxygen production. So to do all of that, though, we're going to need a bunch of refined metals. So I'm thinking we get ourselves a metal refinery. We're probably going to need 2 kilowatt wire for that. Well, we get a metal refinery and place it over here, and we use this water to fill it. And then we dump the water right back in here. We don't even try running it through some sort of cooling loop. We just keep dumping it into this section, and let this section eat the heat. Might take a minute, though. Here's the plan. It's a terrible plan, but it's a plan. We're going to pump the water out of here, pump it over to this section where we're going to refine our metal. Then the output of it, we're just going to dump into this section over here where it'll hopefully get chilled enough that before it gets back to this liquid pump, it'll have cooled down below, something that would cause us problems by turning to gas in pipes and that sort of stuff. But we're not going to worry about that too much for now. What we're doing right now is actually researching the tech necessary to make the smelters. Hadn't gotten around to that yet. Also, this ice is going to start melting further and further down, so when it does, we'll just have to keep extending the ladder. I just don't want our duplicates going into that ladder too much, or into that water too much right now, because they will get hypothermia. Hopefully they've got fireplaces, though. We might want to put another wood heater over here. You know what? I think a wood heater right about there would not be the worst idea in the world. Yeah, you only have to refuel them every so often, and we've got enough duplicates to take care of that. In fact, I don't think we're going to be hiring any more duplicates in the near future. Oh, I know I shouldn't hire this one, but mechatronics engineer, they've got machinery, and they've got carry capacity. Pacifist, we don't care about. That's a nothing. That basically means they'll have a passion in these 2 skills, so they'd be a perfect mechatronics engineer. Give them some construction to go with it. Do we have a spare bed? No, we don't have a spare bed for them. And our oxygen supply is not perfect. You know what? We'll leave them there. We can pick them up later. No, actually. No. We'll keep going. Actually, there's nothing from this we want. We'll keep them for a bit. We'll finish this off and then we'll hire them. We can hold out just a little bit longer. So, I'm trying to figure out how to power this while not overloading the wires. This thing requires 1200 watts. And the reason we want to use this is we don't lose any mass. For example, right now we're smashing up iron down here in a rock crusher, but half the iron is lost every time we do it. So we prefer to get something a little bit more efficient. This will double the efficiency of it so that we get well, for 100 kgs of iron ore, we get 100 kgs of iron out, and we can use that iron to make better stuff like smart batteries and all of the other fancy things. Unfortunately, we need a lot of power for that. Now, I was thinking maybe we could put down 4 of the wood burners. Those wood burners are actually pretty good, and we got a lot of wood. It's just, no, too much effort, I think. In fact, yeah, we'll hook you up in a minute. I think what instead we'll do, we'll do even more effort by running this whole thing on ethanol. We've got a big blob of ethanol over here. I say we pump it into this liquid pump. We have that liquid pump stored up in a liquid tank. There we go, liquid reservoir. Perfect. Then we just got to run some plumbing from that, which we can do right over to there. And then that can run onto this sucker. And that will spit out its polluted water down here, which we'll then have to deal with in some way. So we dig through here, we dig a hole up here, all that ethanol will flow down, and we'll have it flow into this section. Yeah, we'll wall it in and do a few other bits and bobs. But that should allow us to run this entirely on the ethanol for a while. And all of this water... Oh, we still got a few wires to put in, but once that's done, the water from down there will start getting pumped up. What's the temperature? Yeah, it's 25 degrees. Perfect temperature. Perfect. We are just about ready to kick off here. What we're going to do is we're going to dig out these 2 tiles. Did you put wood in that? Insufficient wood. Once the wood goes in that, that's going to be able to allow us to activate that pump. Once that pump is active, it'll allow us to pump that ethanol into this. And once that... Yep, you're on. Yes, you are. In which case, we'll turn it off. We don't need you on just yet. Run, run, run. There we go. And once that gets in there a bit, we start the pump. Done. And we want to set you to, say, 80%. Once you drop down to 40%, you can kick back in again. Really doesn't matter too much about those values. So that's going to go in there. Perfect. And why is it getting to that section? You know what? We'll put in another little mesh tile right there. That should stop that from happening. You know, just all 3. Perfect. That's actually working out great. What's the power consumption on this thing? 240 watts. We're producing through it. We're wasting a little bit of power here. We should probably put in a smart battery. Just I didn't have one at have enough resources at the time, and I think this is good enough. How much liquid we got in there? We'll wait till we got about a ton. We look to be set up right now. We have liquid coming from down here, going into our metal refinery. We have the output set up. I had, of course, reversed the inputs and outputs by accident, because that's what you do every time. Let's just make that a forever thing. Someone get on that. Oh. I should find out who's got our highest level mechatronics. The thing is, you want your best mechatronics engineer doing this because they do it the fastest, and the power consumption is based on how quickly they do it. It takes 1200 watts to run this per second. If someone's really fast at doing it, then they're going to use it for, say, half the time when using half the power. So, who's got our best mechatronics? The problem is none of them are really great at it. We do have a new recruit we could bring in, though, who would probably be pretty solid at it. Their machinery is +3, and they start with mechatronics engineer, which is another +2, so they'd start at +5 as a mechatronics engineer. I think they're going to be our hire once we get them a bedroom set up. I think we can put in a quick bedroom here. This should be fairly fast. The slowest thing will be digging across the top so we can put in a roof, stick in a couple of cots, hire them in. We definitely have a mess table already. Toilets, I should expand the toilets. It's also been pointed out to me that this is only 3 tiles wide. It should be 4, this core corridor. I'm going to have to move everything on the left-hand side 1 tile to the left. Everything. That's something I'll do later. Just not right this minute. What is going on with this? Why are you there? Oh yeah, you're emergency backup. I'm also going to have to take the polluted water out of here. And that means I'm going to have to probably pump it all the way over here into this thing. How's our iron refining going? We've got 200 kgs already. Actually, 300 kgs. This works out pretty fast. What's the temperature down here looking like? 25 kgs? Yeah. And all of our wastewater is getting dumped in here. It's a bit hot. It will melt everything in this section eventually, but we're not going to worry about it. So long as we can get our iron ore, doesn't matter what we do to the natural environment. Hey, does anyone want to finish out these wires? Thing is, I would like to... Yeah, there we go. What I'd like to do is plug this sucker into this grid over here. That way it's always on, and it's coming off this main power supply, so it's powering itself. Feels like that would be a better way to do things. In which case, this wood burner can be deconstructed. I don't think we need it anymore. Yeah, you're good. As this gets finished off, we also have the bedrooms just about ready. Once that's finished, we'll hire our new mechatronics engineer. And over here, I'm trying to get down so that we can nab that sleet wheat. Might as well. That's a few frost buns we can make. Food is food. And from what I can see down here, how's our storage going on, say, pike apple skewers? You are deep frozen. Yeah, entire place is deep frozen. It's minus 23 degrees and the gases went... The way this works, it's a bit confusing at first. It took me a while to wrap my brain around it. It doesn't really matter what temperature the food is. For example, this pike apple skewer is 7.9 C. So that should be above the freezing point and it should not be deep frozen. However, it's deep freezing and it's in a sterile atmosphere. The reason being is the gas around it is minus 18 degrees. So if the food itself is minus 18 or the gas around the food is minus 18, then it's considered deep frozen. I presume that's just to make it easier so that the food doesn't have to wait while it's being in the gas to finally exchange temperature. Just sort of a simplification of the process. All right, we shall delete those automation wires. Waste not, whatnot. And you can be hooked up. Yeah, that means all that ethanol is going to go straight towards refinement. We can find more ethanol around the map. There's other pools. Like there's another pool over here. Another one there. There's... Actually, that's the only... And there's plenty more down here. So if we need more ethanol, it's not too far away. Okay. Refinement done. Now we should have... How much iron do we have? 270 kgs. We'll have an awful lot more shortly, hopefully. 270? Is that all? Have I been spendthrifting? I feel like I must have been spendthrifting for it to be that bad. Please welcome I Am Pud to the team. This is a terrible name. I Am Pud is going to be our mechatronics engineer. They're going to be doing all of the mechatronic machinery stuff, and we're going to put them right here. Reason being that puts them right beside the bed warmer. Currently, only two of our duplicants, Frederick Hartman and I Am Pud, do not have coats. And I'm pretty sure that the moment we shear the next one of these... Oh, we just have barely put in enough food for them. Once we shear the next one of these behemoths, we should be able to get two more coats out, and we should be able to clothe both of them in woolly jackets. And hopefully at that point we won't need the wood heaters quite so much. Though wood-wise, we're doing great. We got 23 tons. These flocks are doing great for us. But we finally have a source of iron that's going to be coming in stably. We don't really care about the power for that because that's all coming from that ethanol pool, which we don't really care about. We've got enough to keep us going over here. So it's time to start optimizing our oxygen production. This is going to take a minute. You see, we want to turn these into proper farms with actual farming stations, which reminds me, do we have that research done yet? Yes, we do. Farming stations on the way. We are also going to need conveyor receptacles for holding stuff. We basically want to have ice automatically delivered down here for the plants. We want to have the actual harvested oxalate removed from here automatically by conveyor rails as well. So the only thing the farmer should come down to do is to apply Farmer's Touch to make the plants more productive, and to harvest the plants when they produce oxalate, and that is it. Right now our oxalate is kind of staying stable. It goes up and down a bit depending on the harvest season, but we want to make sure this stays stable for a long time. So let me draw up a plan here. This is sort of the start of our farm. This is going to be one farm in here. Farms need to be 96 tiles in size, so greenhouse, 96 tiles. We're going to try and farm as much carbon dioxide as we can into oxalate. Then over here we're going to make a second one, and we're going to move all the ladders and stuff over here because we want to put in, where is it, oxygen masks. So we're going to put in an oxygen mask checkpoint and a bunch of docks here so that everything down here is going to be in carbon dioxide. We want our duplicants to be able to come down here. So 3 duplicants able to come down here and do the farming should be more than sufficient, considering no one's going to have to go back up again. It should be just a case of coming down here, harvesting, applying Farmer's Touch, and that's it. That's all they should be doing down here. Alright, what else have we got down here? No, that's all good. Oh, and over here. Oops. Yeah, I was making a few changes. Namely, I wanted to make this easier. Nope, not Cinnabar. Cinnabar, sorry. I want to replace all of these with hydroponics tiles. The reason for the hydroponics tiles is, well, it makes our lives a little bit easier. We can just pump the, where is it? The ethanol in there. In fact, we have ethanol right here, so we can just go like that. And that means these plants will be automatically taken care of and none of our people have to get involved in it. We're trying to reduce labour costs, basically. The amount of labour required to get oxygen is a lot because we've got to tend the plants. We've got to drop off the fertilizer, harvest them. Our own food crops also require a lot of stuff. So that's why we're getting as much refined metal as we can. The more refined metal we have, and please tell me that's the right one. Yeah, I am Puds at it. The more refined metal we have, the easier we can put in all of these auto sweepers, conveyor loaders, and all that stuff. We're also going to have to change the entire power grid over to 2K conductive wire, so, because that's all we can really afford. And what happened? Oh, research is done. That gives us the conveyor receptacles to allow us to drop off ice. I think next up, water sieve, ethanol distillery, and algae distillery. Why not? Uh, definitely the ethanol distillery is something we are going to be getting into. And what are you at? You two are at 3%. So you know what? You can both be deconstructed. These guys can be copied over. And we'll probably add in... Actually, give me one more of these tiles. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9 of them. 9 tiles should just about work out. Once they've nommed down on those other 2 plum squash, we'll rip those out and replace them with hydroponics as well. The whole name of the game here is to reduce, and reduce some more our dependence on labour to get stuff done. We've got the bulk of this in place. It's not quite finished yet. We've also got our hands on some more of these reed fibre, so we're getting our last 2 jackets out. Yeah, our 2 warm coats should be done shortly. That will have everyone in a warm coat, which should take care of all the negatives. Well, most of the negatives we get from living on an ice block. And down here, we're just about ready to seal this in. In fact, you can go there. Then, yeah, this is going to become our main way down here, and we're going to have to run some gas piping down from this section. I want to run gas piping all the way through here so that we can pump in carbon dioxide and just saturate this entire ground floor level in it. That means the oxalate scones will have... Sconces will have to go. Alright. And for our most recent printing pod activation... Allergies are a big no-no. You always want to have the option of using floral scents at some point that just give a stress reduction. And this person is... Machinery, science, and construction. They're actually pretty close, but the lack of digging combined with the construction and machinery, I'd prefer if they were able to do all 3. So, we'll just take the dirt. The oxyferns is kind of pointless at this point because of, well, the invention of these alveoviras. They should make life so much simpler when it comes to... Well, they're going to make life more complicated for us when it comes to oxygen, but so long as we do it right, it should be okay. Now, we need to get the oxalate out of here, turn this place into a farming station. We're going to have to get fertilizer as well, aren't we? And we're going to have to get oxygen masks. Yeah, there's more than a few things that need doing. Oh, and we have to upgrade the entire power grid. Yeah, our entire power grid has to be replaced with conductive wire so we can support everything. Yeah, this could take a second. One other thing I need to get done is hooking this up to the grid. Well, hooking up this gas pump. I, of course, forgot to put in the gas piping before I seal this area in, and there's a lot of carbon dioxide in there. There is 51 kilos, 51 kilos. Yeah, there's 400 kilos of carbon dioxide in there. We need to have some way of getting in that gas pipe without letting all of that out, because that will swamp our base in carbon dioxide. The thing is, we can build the power wire. Power wire's already gone in, and we've built that diagonally there, and we can get the gas pipe to about there as well. But getting the gas pipe this side might be a little bit trickier. So, we're going to do some creative digging. This will require us to go over here, dig down, build this tile diagonally. Then we'll dig out this tile, and we'll build that gas pipe diagonally. That will allow us to gain access to, well, put in the gas pipe without letting any of that gases out. Hopefully. And that should work. We'll come back to that in a bit. For now, we're just putting in all the wiring, upgrading our grid, doing all the usual malarkey. This little sucker over here is almost done. Alright, well, crack that open. That should allow us to get that last gas pipe. Come on. Unreachable build, and now it's reachable. Perfect. And you can hook up there. Then we just need to get that gas pipe, run it all the way down here and put it into our lower levels. And then I need to figure out some way of balancing it so that the carbon dioxide pressure doesn't rise up too high. That would cause us problems. And I need... means we're going to need gas sensors, a lot of gas vents. I don't know how that affects the farms down here as well. Where are we going to put our farming station? I think... Yeah, we'll wait until this guy is harvested next. We'll rip him out and we're going to put in a farm station right on top of that sucker. Yeah, farm station right there should be perfect. And I keep having to remember not to use the cinnabar ore. I wish I could default everything to iron ore because I don't want to waste the cinnabar. That seems like it's a lot more rare. We are slowly but surely putting in a gas pipe all the way along. I haven't figured out the automation for it yet, but we'll sort that out in a bit. Over here we keep ending up with polluted water everywhere. I am not sure why, but I'm just going to put in mesh tiles. Mesh tiles can go below it, and that will stop everyone from getting soggy feet. They can get rid of their soggy feet by going to the wood heaters. It's just you can't force them to go to the wood heaters. As far as I can tell, they'll pop over whenever they feel like it, which could be God knows when. Alright, this down here is getting close to actual completion. Nearly there. Nearly. You know what? I'm just thinking about this. I should have done this first. If I had just got these guys and set them for auto fertilization and all that stuff, it would have saved us a bunch of time, which would have had more time to do this, but it's fine. We're almost done. We've got a lot of bits and pieces in place. These auto sweepers here. They're going to pick up all the oxide from there and dump it in there. This auto sweeper here, similar thing, takes up all the oxide from that area. This last one takes up the oxide from this area and dumps into that conveyor loader. All of them are going to go up here and get dropped out in that section. But this is temporary. We just want to get it out of the bottom of the map because it's probably overwriting the carbon dioxide that's down here. You. Oxalite. Yes, perfect. Copy the settings, put them over there. And perfect. They should all start getting chucked onto the line. Now, ice. That is a different story. You, come over here. What we want to do is start pumping ice down to these conveyor receptacles. So for that, where are we going to put this sucker? Very simple plan. All we're going to have happen is all the ice will be stored here, then it'll be lowered onto the conveyor belts and sent down to those two receptacles. So, give me storage bins. We're going to turn this into, well, mass ice storage. Yeah, 20, 40, 60, 80, 120 tons. We could move that auto sweeper a little bit more to the left, but maybe we will do that later. For now, we just want to get this thing up and running. Oh, here it goes. Oxalite, harvested, dumped into conveyor loader, and off it goes. Perfect. Now, you guys, you are going to be all ice. It's just regular ice. We're going to make you a priority level 4. You don't need to be a high-level priority because, well, it's not a high-level priority. Once you're full, it'll take so long for you to empty, it won't make a difference if it takes, 100 cycles for someone to get around to it. Now that that storage bin has got some ice in it, what we can start doing is give me ice. Set it here. It's on priority 5. Auto sweeper starts loading it up. And off it goes. Come on. Then they'll split up and go across each side. Now, okay, I don't think anything's ready to go just yet. Also, there's a whole bunch of ice down here, so the auto sweepers have been using the ice that's on the floor. But this should make sure we never have to fertilize anything down here again. Well, up to this point. Right. Now all we need to do is make a fertilizer plant. We need to make a fertilizer so they can put in a farm station. Put in a station right about here. Farm station goes there. We're also going to seal off the top in this section, so that needs to go. We need to get rid of the ladders. Basically, the only way anyone's getting down to the ground floor anymore is through this section. And I'm not going to put in the full stations yet, but I'm just going to get it started. You see, we want to put in, yeah, that guy right there. And then we're going to want oxygen masks for the rest of them, so we can fit in 4. Yeah, perfect. We'll fit in 4 oxygen mask stations. That also means we're going to need to put in a few other things. Actually, no, I need to finish at the power grid. Power grid needs to be done, and carbon dioxide needs to start getting pumped down here more consistently. So, ventilation-wise, give me a gas vent. Put the gas vent there is perfect. Then for automation, give me an element sensor. A gas element sensor would be preferable. Yeah, put you right there. Give me an automation wire, and hook it up. Do you require power? Nope. No, you do not. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to tell this to sense carbon dioxide, and if it can't sense carbon dioxide, it's going to turn on that vent. And let's hope this works. In fact, let's hope the automation kicks in sooner rather than later. That gas should start flowing from up there now. Oh, hydrogen! Ah, thank God the disconnect tool exists. Right. I need to filter out non-carbon dioxide. There is a little bit of oxygen and hydrogen in here, and I'd forgotten about that. There's 14 kgs of hydrogen, some oxygen, and you know what? A gas tank should sort that problem quick. So, very simple setup here. We're going to use a powered gas filter. There's lots of unpowered gas filter type designs, but we want something stupidly simple and easy to do. Carbon dioxide gets filtered out, everything else goes into the tank over here. So that'll be hydrogen, oxygen. Yeah, hydrogen and oxygen are the only thing in there. Now, that'll take a bit, but oxygen's already gone. The hydrogen should go in short order. Once the hydrogen is gone, there will only ever be carbon dioxide in here. At that point, we can just, well, remove the gas filter and put everything back to just straight through. Down here, has anyone gotten around to making this? Anyone? Let's make that a priority 7. We've got a mechatronics engineer or 2 lying around here somewhere. Alright, power. Yeah, the power grid still needs to be upgraded. We need a lot more iron ore. I mean, it's cooking, but it's just, we have so much. Oh, you can actually be severed. We don't need that power wire anymore. That went over there to a liquid pump that pumped ethanol in there. Everything at the top, though, will need to be replaced with this new wire, just so that we don't overload the grid anytime soon. This sucker down here, I'd forgotten exactly how they worked, but here's how it is. Sends a green signal when the selected gas is detected. And what we want this to do is turn on when it detects anything but carbon dioxide. But you can't tell it that. So what we do is we tell it detect carbon dioxide. If it does, it's going to send a green signal. Green signal will open the gas vent. We don't want that. We want it to close the gas vent. So instead, we're just going to pipe it through a NOT gate. The NOT gate will then switch that positive signal to a negative. And anyone want to get down here? Anyone? All right, perfect, perfect. Then we just got to sever this in the middle. And it's not detecting carbon dioxide. Yep, so it sends out a signal. How's our gases looking? Yeah, much better. Now we just need to make sure people coming down here don't get caught out. That means we're going to have to wall this off. This is going to make building down here a little bit more awkward. But what we'll do is we'll seal this in. That means the only way for people to get down here is through this section. It's going to mean this place is going to... oh, and that can go. The oxalite sconce is no longer necessary down here. We're also going to have to sweep up all of this junk. Get rid of all the oxalite. That... yeah, otherwise it's going to start overwriting gas. Oxalite lying on the ground will overwrite small pieces of gas that go near it, so you can see that the carbon dioxide is just... yeah, we don't want to be deleting the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is good for our plans for now. Alright, once that is walled in completely, we're going to put in our oxygen mask docks over here. Huh. Just thinking, we got a bit of a problem here. It's just if any liquids fall down, and liquids will always fall down, they're going to pour in here. Actually, no, it's fine. If they pour down here, they'll end up in this hole that we've dug. So, yeah, no, that should be grand, actually. In that case, we need to get ourselves in a second station. Crafting station, please. Make it out of iron ore. Put it about there. Finish this out. Oh, and another thing I should have done ages and ages ago was put in a water cooler in here and a piece of decor. What are you, granite? Yeah, granite's perfect. Just to get this place up one level higher. Reason being is mess hall gives +3 morale, great hall gives +6. We also need a fancy decor item. It used to just say decor item, so fancy decor item might mean something more excessive than we used to do in the past. For in the past, we used to just do something like, oh, let's give some corner trim right there. Must be built in a corner. Right, whatever. In that case, water, brackine, let's disable building. Thing is, you used to be able to disable the building and still get the use out of this, and I'm not bothered having someone lug water up to that. Not, we don't need it. And here we get to find out if this changes the room type. Okay, currently, mess hall, decor item, going in. Still a mess hall. Right, so we need a substantial decor item, it would appear. Next up, we're trying to put a hanging pot, though there's different variants for them now. You can have the sunny hanging pot, or you can have the regular hanging pot, or you can have the beaker one. I think the beaker one just sort of suits the aesthetic a little bit more. Anyway, putting a plant in there actually does give us a great haul. Perfect, so plant in a pot, water cooler disabled, and we've got ourselves a great haul, which is an extra 3 morale. Which means I can start assigning in a few more skill points, maybe. Just to have them around. Now, you guys, I think actually construction for you. Mike, yeah, get that last level in astronomy. Critter ranching level 2, well, that would speed things along a bit. I am Pud. Improved carrying, thank you very much. Our local grill, this is basically our dog's body that sits around and does all the cooking and stuff. I think, advanced research, why not? They've got the skill point for it, and that extra learning will help them level up faster. Oh, and we need another farmer. I've just realised we've only got one dedicated farmer. We're going to need a second one. Oh, and we need an oxygen, some way of pumping oxygen into this. I think I might have an idea. You see, the thing is we've got to fill up these masks with oxygen, and we've got to fill them up with pure oxygen. So we need a sealed room and then dump oxalate in there somehow. Okay. Let's get started on these oxygen masks and getting the oxygen into them, which... Okay, I really feel like I need to point out again. This is a terrible way to play this. We should be using water over here. We've got a water vent. We should be using that water to provide oxygen to our base, and using that and pumping it in. That would be far less trouble and well known and well documented. This is just... it's just trying the new mechanics for fun and just seeing how far we can push oxalate production via these weird-ass plants. So... here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the oxalate that's coming in from over here. Give me these guys. Yep. And that oxalate, as it comes up from down below, is going to get... Ooh. Well, that's a problem. It's not actually continuing on. Conveyor bridge requirements. Put that guy there. Deconstruct the conveyor bridge behind him. That means the oxalite's going to come across here. Now, what we've done is we have set... Oh, power, please. We have set this thing over here, this weight plate, and says if there's less than 100 kilos of pressure on it, send a green signal. We want 100 kilos of oxalite to sit on top of that. So... done. Now there's 113 kilos of oxalite. Gas pump sucks it up. Pumps it down here into these oxygen masks. Now, what's the gas pressure in there? That thing should, if it's taking it less than 500 grams per second, we might have to break back in there and make a bigger room. Seems to be holding out. Oh, no, vacuum. Yeah, we're down to 300 grams. Damn it. Maybe I should spread it out across multiple tiles. That looks a little bit not terrible. We did let a little bit of carbon dioxide in, and there will be some equipment damage we'll have to repair, but that should be sorted quite soon. Right, done. Alright, and we've put together a bunch... out of the way, we've put together a bunch of these oxygen masks made out of iron ore. They'll come down here and be docked to these stations, and I think, yeah, most of those are actually full up now. In that case, oxygen mask checkpoint. Check. Alright then, I don't know if that requires power. We are currently researching, well, atmosuit docks. They're just better in every single respect, but I thought we'd give oxygen mask docks a try. If we were a little bit faster about it, they would have been more useful. Okay, moment of truth. I am PUD. Off you go, you've put it on. Yeah, they've got all of their oxygen needs met. And then they pop down over here, do a little bit of farming, and then they can pop back out. Now, the oxalite that's down here, we're still going to have to sort out. It's going to require a little bit more automation and things, but I think we can build in here pretty quick and finish off these farms. No, stop. We have a ton of oxalite. There's no need to go expanding the farms. What we're going to do is put in fertilizer so that we can use the farm stations. We don't need to do that either, but I want to. Looking at the fertilizer synthesizer, we do have, well, some problems here. One, polluted water, fine. We've got a bunch of polluted water that we've collected from the petroleum generators. And we've even got some polluted water in here, I believe. Yeah, there's some blobs of it around the place. Ooh. The place is melting pretty fast. We're going to have to extend that ladder system on if we want to keep making iron. And we are going to want to keep making iron. That's just going to get everyone... Worry about that in a minute. No, the problem is that this outputs natural gas, and it doesn't have a gas vent, as far as I'm aware. So if we go under gases... You see there's no gas vent listed on this. There is a liquid vent. That is where the polluted water goes in. It also takes in dirt. Also takes in phosphorite. So phosphorite, dirt, polluted water, and it outputs natural gas as a gas just from it, fertilizer, and some heat. The problem is we can't have our people exposed to natural gas. That's going to mess up with their eyes, and we need to put that in a separate sort of industrial section. So we can't really industrialize our farming just yet, which is unfortunate. Said what we'll do is we'll just extend this on, make sure this entire section down here is being auto-farmed / harvested / fertilized. And you iron need to come down there. That will extend on the ice fertilizer, or ice crop, whatever thingy. And this guy's going to have to come up here and feed his oxalite onto... What is going... You. There. And we will deconstruct that. This thing's not flowing right. Don't worry, that'll get fixed real quick. It's just the moment you start introducing these auto sweepers, they start, or not the auto sweepers, the conveyor bridges. You've got to be real careful to either put a conveyor bridge before it or after it if you're trying to branch off to make sure everything keeps flowing. You mess it up all the time. Just keep sticking on bridges, whatever direction you need it to go. You'll eventually figure it out, or the game will finally start working one way or the other. Oh, and over here I've discovered something annoying. This thing here doesn't update. It currently thinks there's 264 kilos sitting on top of this tile. There's not. There's only 180 kilos. The reason it's not detecting is because this thing is slowly evaporating, but the weight plate hasn't detected anything being added or removed to the tile, so it hasn't updated its weight. If we click below above again, and yeah, it immediately noticed. So if the pressure is below 250, it should start adding more, but now it just won't. Alright, we might have to do some changes with that, but that will be later. For now, we just want to get this sorted, and then I think we want to get these crops sorted. At that point, we'll have automated a bunch of stuff. Oh, and then we need to get somewhere to dump those phlox fawns. We don't want... Yeah, we need to make a little evolution chamber for them over here somewhere. Well, mistakes were made. Toilets are out of order because I ran out of dirt. My bad. So they managed to pee down the ladder system, and Hans Martin Diffenbach managed to pee in the food supply. Of all the places you could pee, you decide, it's fine. It's not fine. That is not fine. That is just not cool. Right? We'll have to deconstruct that because that is going to cause all of those. They're all going to start decaying because they're in pee. Like, why would you do this? Yep, they're deep frozen, but normal atmosphere is -4%. That's because it's in pee. Well, I hope you're going to enjoy your meal today, Hans. Yeah, come on, get it in there, quick. Well, perfect. Let's wall them back in again. Worry about the rest of it later. No. Get out of there first, you muppets. Jesus. What's the maximum amount of stupidity we can cram into the day? That's the question that seems to have asked. Okay. Down here, we've dug this out. We've given us a bunch of dirt. I'm going to have to start putting in... Oh, what do you call them? Compost. We're going to have to put in some compost, and I'm thinking we'll put in the compost a little bit away from our base. Thing is, we don't want to cause too many problems. Yeah, there we go. And maybe put in something to store the polluted dirt. And maybe put in some sort of oxygen, make sure that it doesn't turn into badness thing. So put in a deodorizer there and there. And power wire. Perfect. Oh, this guy's no longer necessary. He was doing our filtering for the carbon dioxide, but carbon dioxide is now fully cleaned out. All right, down here, how are we looking? Excellent. You copy, paste, and that gets all of the oxide out of there. Perfect. Oxide has a way out. Ice has a way in. Every single plant from left to right. The only thing that needs to be done is harvesting. That is it. Done. These guys over here, well, yeah, they are what they are. You know what? Get rid of those guys. We don't want those. These guys I'm fine with over here because they're taking care of some of the carbon dioxide that's coming down here from this petroleum generator. In fact, this entire area is a little bit, it's not great. We might need to put in some sort of filtration system over here to get rid of the carbon dioxide out of the area. But that we'll worry about later. For now, we'll just put in the compost. Once the composts are done, we're going to finish off our crops over here. So this place here, I think we can automate most of the functions that our duplicants are having to run around doing. One, we've got this storage bin here that's full of phosphorite. So we're going to have all of that dumped in here. So phosphorite goes in there. Then that gets sent down this conveyor rail, goes all the way down to the end of this receptacle. That receptacle is going to dump it into the plants. That way we don't have to fertilize it. Well, the duplicants don't have to fertilize the plants anymore. It'll be done automatically by the auto sweepers. And then for these conveyor loaders, we're going to get pike apple. Yep. So all the pike apple will get picked up off the ground. In fact, let's copy that setting. Paste it over there. And this should happen immediately. The moment that one's harvested, yep, that grabs it, dumps it into that, and that's going to go... Hey, where are you going? It's not finished. Okay, so the conveyor rail will get sent all the way up along here into that conveyor chute. We'll just make that a priority 6 to get it done. And then once that's finished, that will make sure that this requires far less labor than before. And 8, someone else make that a 6. Well, this is completing... what's supposed to be going in there? Oh, wait, that's clay. Why is clay? You know what? No, we just want dirt in that. All right, and over here, we're going to try and remove the gas pressure. This place is just covered in carbon dioxide. It's this petroleum generator, of course. It's outputting, I think it's 500 grams of carbon dioxide every so often. And since it's over here and not down here, that's causing issues. So, I think what we're going to do, actually... Yeah, down like this. I'd like to have a big storage pipe. Actually, wait, no, I got a better idea. So, the plan. It's very simple and immediately broken. This here is a little powerless gas filter. All we have is this little gas valve here set to 1 gram, and it just constantly recirculates carbon dioxide. So if we pump any carbon dioxide and it tries to go out of this... If we pump any carbon dioxide, what it'll do is it'll try and jump across this bridge and onto this line. Any other gas can't get on there because that 1 kilo of oxygen can't mix with that 1 gram of carbon dioxide because of the way the mechanics are set up. And since those things can't mix, it instead pumps at the side here and gets dumped into this gas vent, which is immediately full. So you know what? Let's just hook that up that way. And nope, that does not work. In that case, We'll just turn it on like that, right? It should pass through. We might have to put in another gas bridge or something like that to make sure that it goes through and all that, but we'll figure it out. And done. Now, all the carbon dioxide will get sent down here, stored in this carbon dioxide tank, and then sent across and down to be consumed in here. Though I think we're now producing more carbon dioxide than we need. Oh, I should point out, these alveolvira, once they're domesticated, they consume 4 times as much carbon dioxide. You see here it's consuming 200 milligrams a second. Sorry, 2,000 milligrams, whereas the non-domesticated wild variants only consume 500 milligrams a second, or something along those lines. So they quadruples their consumption rate, and because it quadruples their consumption rate, you might want to work that into your math. For example, this one here, yep, 500 milligrams a second. So that was messing up my numbers at the start, which is why we had so little oxygen coming in. You need to produce a whole bunch more carbon dioxide for it to work. Your duplicant's carbon dioxide production alone is not enough. How are we looking on the dirt front? 13 tons. Excellent. And they're composting all of that remaining polluted dirt. This here is slowly reducing the pressure. Like the gas pressure in here was causing a few popped eardrums, which is why one of the reasons why I wanted to drain this area of carbon dioxide. And I figured now that we've severed this line, we're not pulling any carbon dioxide from there, this should eventually get eaten, though we might need more alveolvirus. Oh, I don't want to plant... You know what? It's fine. I can plant some more. I'll plant some more down here. That guy can handle at least 2 more. And if we put in another guy over here, yeah, he can handle the last of them. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. One of the great things about having these auto super series is if you've got any seeds nearby, they should auto plant them. Will you? You're not going to do that? Lazy auto super. I presume someone else got to the job before them. Okay, now we can plant you all. And done. And we must have no seeds in this section. Oops. Well, if we had seeds there, that thing would plant them. But on the bright side, the moment the seeds get planted, these guys should automatically fertilize them with ice. Yep, there you go. He's icing them all up. Our dupes don't have to do anything. And over here, this is all completed, and all of our food is getting dropped off over this section, where this auto sweeper picks it up from the corner so it can get cooked. I should really do something about those floxes. 40 minutes? How? I feel like I've barely got anything done. All right. Today, we minimize labor requirements for our alveolvira farms for getting the oxygen production done. We've also minimized labor for here, minimized labor for here. We have also turned all the iron ore. We've spent like all the iron ore entirely. We've either turned it into iron or we turned it into conveyor rails. I forgot these things take like it takes 100 of each. Yeah, we can strip mine the whole map shortly, but at this point, I think we're pretty good. You see, the whole goal right now is minimize all the duplicant labor required so we get the maximum out of each duplicant. That allows us to build and expand more and chop up more of the map for natural resources. Also, I gotta go find more vents and geysers. There's gotta be more around the place. We found a few over here, like there was a whole batch of them, and then it's like I'm not seeing any more. You know, I'm probably being blind and missing a few. No, I'm definitely being blind and missing a few. Who cares? But next up, we are going to pipe all of those eggs probably somewhere over here. Actually, no, I'm going to take this entire base and move everything on this side 1 tile to the left so it's proper and it doesn't actually, that will mean we'll have to get rid of the wood pile, which is unfortunate. You can't make replacement wood pile things. You can't rebuild them. You get this one and that's it. We'll replace it with a storage bin, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? Okay, I'll stop getting distracted. For now, I'm going to cut this out. Next up, more automation, and then map demolition, I think, is the order of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.